What is going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. Guys, as always, I've got a very good video for you today because we have just gone ahead and wrapped up another amazing week in the markets, right? We did what we do best as a collective, and that is make a lot of money from the markets. And boy, let me tell you guys, this week we did phenomenally well. I'll get into that in a minute, but we're also going to look into the week coming up, and I'm going to put something on all of you guys' radar, which will do amazing things for all of you. All right, but before I get into that, let me just tell you how the week went down this week. All right, we started off this week in amazing fashion. The guys did phenomenally well on our TQQQ and our PLTR trade. That was at the beginning of the week though, but couldn't stop there. Had to go ahead and put another opportunity on the guys over the Patreon's radar. We entered into trade on Mara, and listen, did incredibly well. You can see on screen. Shout out to Roofs from over at the Patreon, made 73% on that Mara trade, right? That is amazing to see. As I tell you guys, there's no better generator of wealth than the options market. That's where you get these big, juicy, tasty returns, right? 73%. Where else are you guys going to make that in 24 hours? All right, so big up Roofs. Doesn't stop there. Tons of the other members did amazingly well. Listen, as a collective, we absolutely smashed it this week, and that's what we do all the time. So got Kevin, 50%. Shout out to Kevin, amazingly well. I think that's a new member over the Patreon. Lee has been a member for a couple of weeks now. We see Lee in the chat. 50% on the Mara trade. Amazing. Listen, we are taking this energy into next week. All right, this week coming up, it's going to be an amazing week. We did phenomenally well this week. Next week's just going to be as good. So if you haven't already, I'm telling you guys, make sure you're in the Patreon. I want to be celebrating all of you guys when you hit these numbers with me. So just make sure you hop in, ready for Monday, ready to go, because as always, we are packing the heat. All right, I've been in the game for a long time, and to be able to coach the guys, lead them to success, lead them to victory is what I love to do. All right, so if you want to make some money with us, make sure you are in the Patreon. All right, don't be missing out. I know I see a lot of you guys are consistent. I think it's consistently about 1,000 of you guys that tune in, which is absolutely amazing. And I know some of you guys aren't yet members of the Patreon. All right, listen, you need to be in there doing amazing things with us. All right, give these guys that real-time information that I can't always do on YouTube because of the time delays and other things of commitments I've got going on my side. All right, but when it comes to giving the guys the access to the information over the Patreon, I could do that very, very quickly. All right, so I don't want any of you guys missing out. So that being said, we're going to look ahead to next week because we smashed it this week. We need to smash it next week as well. Guys, there's going to be one particular name that I want all of you guys to be looking out for next week, because you guys can go ahead and make a couple of hundred. You guys can make a couple of thousand. The world is your oyster on this one for next week. All right, this one name is going to bring a lot of you guys riches. And here is the breakdown. So we've got Apple. Check it out with me. Okay, so Apple currently is $233. This is a name, guys, that can go ahead and make you guys a lot of money in the markets next week. Right, so just take a look at the charts with me. What can we see going on? Well, we know that Apple had a high, its all-time high, about a month ago now, about $260. Currently it's at 233, guys. But what you want to understand is that trend up to that 260 has been broken. Okay, that momentum has stalled. We no longer now exist where Apple is flying high and has that unbelievable strength, that unbelievable momentum. We have breaks in the story. There are cracks in the name. As we go into next week, guys, if we all remember, listen, we can make money in both directions. Okay, market moves higher, we can make a lot of money. Market moves lower, we can make a lot of money. As a matter of fact, that trade that I shared with you guys, that was what we call a put option. Okay, so I got my guys over the Patreon into put options on a particular name. That name plummeted on Friday. The guys absolutely raked it in. So put options on Apple is going to be the story. That's going to be the theme for next week. That's what I want you guys to be tapped in. That's what I want you guys to be looking out for, okay? When it comes to Apple, listen, they just released their earnings a couple of days ago. A few things you want to understand is when it comes to China, it wasn't so good. When it comes to iPhone, it wasn't so good. So we are now in a situation where the market is having a tough time digesting that story of Apple, right? So as a result, we could see some further room to the downside. As a matter of fact, put options on this will do exceptionally well. But I'm going to send a note out to the guys over the Patreon Monday morning before markets open up so that they know exactly what the strike prices are, expiration dates, to take advantage of the name, okay? So that's when that note is going to go out. So make sure you guys are in there so that you guys can also receive that information, right? So but put options on Apple stock is going to be a massive move for next week, right? So not only do we have exhaustion when it comes to the technicals, as you can see, but also when it comes to the fundamentals as well. Now, once we see this thing drop a little bit lower, break through that 230 to the downside, telling you guys you can rack up thousands and thousands in this name. That's how we do it. Okay, so when I come on and I show you guys made it 10,000 here, made it 20,000 here, I'm simply using this information I'm giving you guys, marrying it up with the options market, because that's where we go ahead and place these positions. And listen, that's how you can make a lot of money. Now, I'll get a lot of questions in terms of what platforms I'm using. I use Interactive Brokers predominantly, all right, because that's a good platform for where I'm based. But if you're based in the US, you can simply just use Robinhood or Webull. That's absolutely fine. But if you're outside there, Interactive Brokers is going to be your go-to. I'm telling you guys, you can do exceptionally well through the options market. And I know some of you guys are still new to it. Some of you guys are still new to options and things. Some of you guys kind of got a little bit of understanding now of stocks and whatever, but it's time for you to elevate. Okay, it's time for you to move to the next level, take that step up and get into the options market, because that is where the bigger money is made. All right, so Apple's one I want all of you guys to take a look at. Keep on your radar for next week. Gonna do big things on this one. All right, give you guys a couple more names. Listen, that trade that if you saw beginning of the video, I shared some profit numbers and screenshots with you guys from some members over the Patreon. We took advantage of Mara. All right, so you see that drop on Friday. Told the guys on Thursday what we're getting into to take advantage of that drop. There's still going to be a lot of money to be made on Mara next week, all right, to the downside. Remember, we're taking advantage of put options next week, so there's still going to be a lot of money to be made. If you weren't already in the Patreon, you've missed out on this first initial drop. Okay, so you missed out on that 50, that 70%, a couple of hundred, a couple of thousand, right? There's still going to be a lot of opportunity to take advantage of this name next week when it comes to put options, and we are ready to go again. All right, so I'm going to blast out another message to the guys over the Patreon, telling them exactly how we're going to take advantage of this one. So again, make sure you guys don't miss out on that as well. So that's another name for you guys to keep a lookout for. And finally, we've got a big earnings coming up on Monday. Palantir is a name that last year I clocked in easily about 40,000 in profit just on this name alone on options. Okay, predominantly it was call options. They're delivering their earnings on Monday. So again, we're going to be looking out for how they do in terms of their numbers. Listen, I'm expecting them to do phenomenal things when it comes to their numbers, but I'm also more importantly looking out for what the market reaction is going to be to those numbers, okay, because that could give us a very, very good opening to take advantage. So for example, they do well, let's say the market doesn't react to it, that just gives an amazing opportunity for, let's say, call options. All right, so this is a name we're going to be good to go as soon as they deliver their numbers on Monday. So probably enter a position on this one on Tuesday. Again, this is going to be a one that will generate a multi-bagger. This has been one of the best generators of profits for us, and it's going to continue to do so, especially because that got that big market shaping event in their earnings on Monday. So again, another one that I want you guys to be tapped in. Listen, these names could easily generate you guys a couple of thousand next week alone. Okay, so massive opportunity. I want all of you guys taking advantage. All right, as a collective, we're gonna absolutely smash it next week. I can't wait. Hopefully you guys can't wait. We're all pumped. We're looking forward to it. Listen, I'll see you guys on the next video.